We could potentially always work, and we take pride in not taking breaks sometimes. Hey everyone, welcome to my video about relaxation, about allowing yourself to take a vacation and to take a break, and all the shadows that surround this subject of work ethic in our society and how you can overcome them. Am I allowed to relax? There's 3 answers to this question. The first answer is yes. Yes, I am allowed to be relaxed right now. The second is, no, I'm not allowed to relax right now. I should keep working. I have to keep working. And the third answer is, well, technically, I'm not allowed to relax, but I already work for 20 minutes, and I usually get more done in 20 minutes than most people. So I guess you could say with the whole 80-20 rule that I should take a break right now. I mean, I should allow myself to, but I actually still have so much stuff to do. But let me just take 1 minute. Let me just watch one video, okay? I think the last one is by far the most common one. It's bargaining. We're bargaining with ourselves about whether we should allow ourselves to relax or not. We are battling with those parts of our psyche that say you are never allowed to relax, you have to keep working. And this bargaining process comes with a whole set of wavering, changing standards that change depending on the time of day, your energy level, your work ethic, and all of these tiny, minute details. Basically, you're never going to be able to come to a consistent answer, and you just keep battling yourself for relaxation time. Our generation, I feel, has a discomfort with relaxation. We think that we are slacking, we think that we are lazy, we think that we are unproductive, and God is forbid, we are procrastinating, which is the worst of all. So we have all of these shadows surrounding relaxation, and we don't allow ourselves the time to chill and the time to rest because we start feeling bad almost immediately, or we think that we have to make our relaxation time productive as well. With you today, I want to explore the reasons why we don't allow ourselves to relax, the why behind the reasons that goes a little bit deeper, and I want to offer new mindsets to you that you can take in order to help yourself relax better. And I also want to give you journaling prompts to further explore the idea of whether you are allowed to relax or not, and if not, why. Obviously, not everything will apply to you, so just take this as inspiration, take this as a little wake-up call, listen in and see what resonates, see what might be the reasons behind you not being able to relax. Let's first talk about the reasons. Why do we flounder and squirm as soon as it comes to the subject of relaxation? Why can we not just make the decision to take a break or take a vacation as easily as we should be able to, honestly? One of the reasons, in my opinion, is that work is an ideal in our society. Potentially, you can always work, and if you do, you're great. You're worthy. You're valuable. You're an awesome member of this society because work is the best thing you have to offer this society. Yeah, that's problematic to say the least. And honestly, I know a lot of people who look at others and say, they work all the time. Why can't I work all the time? I wish I could just work permanently all the time, or I wish I could work in the time that I have productively 100% all the time. If you're one of those people, then this video is definitely for you, and you might also want to link up with other people that see the world the same way, such as people who think, I wish I didn't have to eat. I wish I never had to shower. I wish I never had to sleep. And I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm just trying to show that the logic behind the will to always work is flawed because we're human. We're human. Ouch, that's a truth. Hits hard. A lot of us have lost touch with the fact that life is cyclical. There are periods of rest and there are periods of productivity, and we cannot eliminate one or the other as much as we try. Our needs are cyclical as well, and we have to accept that. So trying to force yourself into always wanting to work is one of the reasons why you wouldn't allow yourself to take a break. I'll talk more about this later. Another reason could be that you do not have a set structure for your day. I'm not saying that everyone needs a set structure, but it does help if you plan for breaks. One of the reasons could be that you are a college student, you are self-employed, or you work in a company that has very flat hierarchies, so there's nobody to tell you to take a break. We could potentially always work, and we take pride in not taking breaks sometimes. And this does not only apply to 30-minute breaks, it also applies to vacation, whether it's 1 week or 2 weeks. Now let's talk a little bit about the why behind these reasons. I invite you to think about not only what you think about work ethic and relaxation, but also why you think it. What are your beliefs and where may they come from? Here's some examples for these sorts of beliefs. You might think that structure is limiting to you. You are a free-spirited, creative being, and you cannot succumb to a heavy structure because you feel like it would inhibit your productivity. The issue is, I wouldn't be surprised if you have this mindset that you start the whole "can I take a break now" bargain with yourself as soon as you get frustrated with a project. Because as soon as frustration sets in, that's when you start wondering, maybe I just need a break. Maybe I should just stop for now. And so many projects fail because of that, because you think that you cannot have a structure, you shouldn't have a structure, the project will not be positive or be successful if you have a structure. Another thing that people believe is that if they don't work 60 hours a week, they will not be successful. And I understand that there's some jobs that may require you to do this, such as being a lawyer. But the important thing is to check in with yourself whether that is what you want to do. If this is the time in your life when you want to work 60 hours a week and you decide consciously that this is what you're in the mood for and this is what will fulfill you, then by all means do that. However, keep checking in. If one day you have a family and you want to spend more time with them, or you find a new hobby and you want to spend more time doing that, then go back to the drawing table and ask yourself, am I still fulfilling myself by working 60 hours a week? Be mindful of these shifts of mindset, because then you can change with them and change accordingly with what your mind intuitively knows it needs right now, whether that's a vacation or a general reduction of your weekly hours or more breaks. That is up to you. Many people tend to demonize what they have done before, and you can prevent this by always checking in. Because in 20 years, maybe you realize you should have spent more time with your family, and now you're going to quit your job. But if you keep checking in, then it's fine. You don't have to say like, I worked 60 hours a week and every minute of it was a waste of time. It was all wrong. Don't beat yourself up on that. Just do what you feel is right and keep reevaluating what you think you need and what you want to achieve. Another limiting belief in the same vein is you can't be successful unless you work all the time. Many people fall into the trap that I mentioned before about why are people working more than me? Why can't I work that much? And honestly, just keep thinking of what the differences are between you and them. Do they maybe not have children and you do? Do they maybe have a more expensive apartment, so they need to work more in order to finance it? Do they maybe have support from their parents, so they have to work less than you actually? Are they particularly passionate about a subject and you really wish you could be passionate about it too, but you just can't bring yourself to? Then reevaluate. What do you want to achieve? What are you in love with? What do you like to do? And then you will notice that you don't have to work permanently to be successful. You can take breaks and you can take vacations just like so many other people do, even if sometimes you want to believe that nobody takes a break except for you, or that you are better than them, more prideful than them, more honorable than them because you don't take breaks. Another limiting belief is that only undisciplined people need breaks. This is an issue because it shows that you have a resistance to the subject of taking breaks because of your relationship with discipline. Let's say you don't plan for any breaks during your day. I will bet that you will still find yourself at some point browsing idly on your phone for quite a few minutes and noticing that you did something wrong, that you browsed on your phone, which is not what disciplined people do. And then you start a negative feedback loop and start telling yourself that you're not disciplined and you're unworthy and unvaluable. And this brings me to the next subject. Let's think about new mindsets that you can take in order to help yourself get out of these limiting beliefs that keep you from really enjoying the time that you have to chill. Accept your guilty pleasures. Accept that sometimes you scroll on your phone for half an hour. Accept that you watch videos of cats for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or even an hour, and clock those behaviors. Notice them. Give them space. Don't just push them out as soon as you do them. Don't catch yourself doing it and say, oh God, I'm not allowed to do this. I didn't do it. Just forget about it. I won't do it next time. Just accept it. Just accept it and plan with it. If you plan to give yourself the time you need to relax, whether that's a guilty pleasure or a normal pleasure, whatever you may consider it, just give yourself the space and time to go after it. And don't start bargaining and giving it a negative connotation with that. It's okay to relax and it's okay to do useless things as long as you allow yourself the time to do them and then do them consciously. As I said before, both projects and life are cyclical and they have a very clear kind of, or projects have a very clear kind of curve that goes up at first because you're super motivated, then it goes down because you're noticing the reality of things and that it's sort of tedious to go through with it, and you go really, really low, but then in the end it goes up again after you have defeated the resistances or any of the obstacles that you had. And accepting this process and being aware of it has helped me immensely in catching myself where I am on that project curve. Rethink your relationship with structures, lists, and planning. If you do not account for breaks and don't respect that making a plan with small steps will have you feeling much more fulfilled at the end of the day, and if you don't take into consideration the fact that you are human and you're going to have minutes where you're not productive, maybe even hours where you're not productive, then you're just going to frustrate yourself. So please pay attention to how realistic your plans and your to-do lists are. And make breaks in it. Like, even if you put a too long break, put it in there. And then if you take a shorter break, you're going to feel so good. So make your breaks longer than you may think that you need them to be and see what happens. You may also have to look deeper into the shadows that surround the subject of relaxation, chilling, vacation, and work ethic for you. And that's what these prompts are for. I want to give you journaling prompts that you can think about or write about and further explore where your hang-ups come from, why you can't quite seem to relax. So I'm just going to jump right into the journaling prompts. Why do you tend to enforce a certain strict rule or set of rules on yourself? Maybe the answer is that your parents used to do this, or maybe the answer is that your parents did not do this and you would have wanted to have more discipline or structure as a child and try to give it to yourself now as a grown-up. But there's many answers to each of these questions. I'm just giving suggestions so you can see what you resonate with and have a little bit to start with. Do you feel like you lose control over your life whenever you start relaxing? How do you feel like you could regain this control, other than by just keeping on working? What would happen, in your opinion, if you took a break for a set amount of time every day? Are you afraid of losing the respect of your colleagues? Are you afraid that you will not be as successful? Are you afraid that you will slump if you take these breaks? Think about it. What is going on in your mind and your body on less productive days? How are you feeling physically? What is going on in your mind? Are you beating yourself up over it? And what's burdening you basically when you feel like you're chilling, but not in a good way? We tend to push things away that make us feel unproductive because in this society, as I said, we all want to be permanently productive. So find out what you need to accept about your work ethic. Be honest about how many breaks you need. Maybe you need more than someone else. Maybe you need less than someone else. If you're struggling with a mental illness or a physical illness, why are you trying to push yourself to keep on working? Respect your body and respect your mind. What makes you feel a little bit icky about your work ethic? What makes you feel uncomfortable about it? And why does it make you feel uncomfortable? Maybe even write about what you'd like to change about your work ethic right now, taking into consideration some of the tips that I've given. Do you maybe feel like you're stuck in a rut, or do you feel like you could achieve more? Those are two sides of the same coin, and it all relates back to how much time you give yourself to recuperate and whether you can actually use this time or feel like you aren't allowed to relax every second that you try to relax. This is also what I talk about in my video about feeling like you don't have time, even though you do have time. I will put a link to it up here. There's one last thing that I want to say to you. If you feel like you're in a slump, if you feel like you relax too much, if you are stuck in scrolling hell and keep on scrolling on Instagram, on Facebook, if you feel like you are relaxing, but you're not allowed to and you shouldn't, forgive yourself for it. Don't dwell on it. If one whole day is wasted because you just chilled the whole day, it's okay. It's okay because maybe you needed that day and your body and your mind just took it from you. And just recognize that you can be in control of it if you're aware of it. If you wake up and you know you have to study for an exam, but you know you're not quite feeling right, then don't force yourself to do it. And this has nothing to do with procrastination and saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and has everything to do with recognizing your own limitations, your own boundaries, and your control over your life. It's such a deep subject in this society, and I keep talking to people about it because we just feel like we have to work all the time, and we have all of these shadows as a society, as a whole society, not just as singular people relating to the subject of work ethic and value being tied to work. I'd love to hear about your struggles with this subject in the comments because I could not cover all of it at all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.